the people we represent are often as irresponsible as everybody. We struggle, borrow to build a road designed to last 30 years. Everything that we must not do on the road, we will do it. And the lifespan will be sharply reduced. And then we turn around and blame other contractors, other engineers, or the politicians.
Hi, good day and welcome to another edition of the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Daniel Oduro. Today we've got a special guest. We do a personality profile of a man who wears many hats. He's a lawyer by training and by profession, but he's also a politician and one of the leading members of the ruling MPP party. He's the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament. He's been in Parliament for the last 14 years representing the people of Bekwai in the Ashanti region. Today, we are up close and personal with him to find out how he entered into politics in the first place and what the future holds for him. My name is Daniel Oduro. My guest today is the Honorable Member of Parliament for Bekwai, Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu. He's affectionately called Joe Wise. We're asking why a 60-plus man is holding a nickname of a secondary school boy. Honorable, thank you very much for your time. We know we are very busy, but thank you. Thank you for making time for us. I was very surprised to learn that you are more than 60 years. I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought you were in your 50s.
No, I'm actually 61.
Wow. You've taken very good care of yourself.
Have I? Just in the genes. My mother was a very beautiful woman.
Oh, okay.
And, even in her last years,
Yeah.
she was not carrying gray hair.
Are you serious?
Yes, she died at 74. But you hardly saw gray hair in her hair.
Wow.
That's a gene.
So from your mother's side, not your father's side. You won't give your father credit for
My
it.
father was bald.
And you are not.
Very, very early age, she was bald.
Wow.
Yes, and somehow none of my siblings is bald. So my father's gene was not that strong.
So you took your mother's gene.
I believe so.
But Honorable, 14 years away from the law profession, you are a trained lawyer. 14 years you've been in Parliament, you've become more or less a career politician. Do you have any regrets moving away from the profession that you studied for?
Well, my regret is not from moving away from the profession.
Okay.
Law practice or the law degree is a means to an end. You provide services.
Okay.
So lawmaking is one of the services a lawyer provides.
Okay.
But generally, politics is the noble art of providing community service.
Okay.
So I loved politics from a very young age. I'm generally the kind of person who will quickly say, let's find a solution to this one. I don't believe in waiting for somebody else.
Okay.
If there's a problem, let's fix it. Okay. So I've been doing that for a very young age. So I think that's how you develop a goodwill that makes your people want you to represent them.
Okay.
And then they call you a politician. But I think the real instance is that you provide some kind of leadership which makes you appeal to your community.
Okay.
And then they urge you to lead in one way or the other.
Okay.
But I have no regrets at all. I only wish that Ghanaians were much less cynical.
You think Ghanaians are cynical?
With politicians.
Okay.
It hurts, you know. It really hurts. Indeed, one of the reasons that have made me lose appetite for public service of any kind is the way Ghanaians describe the things you do. Somehow, we don't seem to think that you give a job, you must give resources.
Okay.
And so you lead. You must provide this or that. His or her own responsibility to provide the resource or contribute to providing the resource he doesn't take that seriously. But he hold you strictly to, you should have done this or that. It comes down to with what?
Oh no, can you blame them? The few politicians have the longer end of the stick, they have the shorter end of the stick, and
What's
yet...
the meaning of that? Longer end, shorter end, what's the meaning of that? Community or leadership, it's about mobilizing community resources to provide the public goods. So it's what you contribute that you should expect to have done the things you want.
Okay. So are you talking about taxes here? Are you talking about...
Everything we contribute.
Okay.
Now, it is frustrating to lead in Ghana because every rule will be disrespected. If you insist that the rule be respected, you are the bad one.
Okay.
So, I sometimes I just give up. If you insist, they will move a little. As soon as you go away, they return. If you want to have the law respected permanently, you have to have probably thousands of policemen all the time. The economy cannot support that. So, recently, a very senior member, he was a former minister, sent me a message, Joe, are you contested in our next presidential thing? I said, no. So, are you interested in, are you aiming at, give another post, it may be controversial, so. And I said, Prof, when I look around, it appears to me that the people we work for don't appreciate anything we do.
Okay.
The people we represent are often as irresponsible as everybody. We struggle, borrow to build a road designed to last 30 years. Everything that we must not do on the road, we will do it. And the lifespan will be sharply reduced. And then we turn around and blame the contractors, the engineers, the politicians. We never look at our own contributions.
Yeah.
So I find it frustrating. It's not that it is not possible to get people not to do it.
Yeah.
But the amount of force and resources that we require to get people to respect the rules all the time may be beyond our means. But frankly, should we get to that?
Do you think your colleagues have a part of the blame to take? They say they see some of your colleagues and they see how they represent themselves, and they are also part of the indiscipline in the society.
Well, when I talk about discipline, I'm talking about the country.
Everybody, including your colleagues.
Every one of us.
But the laws are there. Why are we not enforcing the laws? Because a friend of mine told me, and I'll tell you this story, he says, in every part of the world, there are indisciplined people, but there is so much punitive action against those who flout the laws compared to what we have in Ghana. So there are irresponsible people in the United States or in the United Kingdom or any advanced country if you want.
Yes.
But the laws must work.
It is true. But for every 100 people you find in a developed state, you get at most 10 who will breach the law.
Okay.
The next 90 will voluntarily obey the law. Right. So it is easy to police the 10.
Okay.
In our case,
The reverse is true.
yes, if you have 100, 90 will disobey, disrespect the law. So it's a Herculean task for 10, either themselves policing the 90 or even hiring people, because you may have to hire from the 90. And in the end, if you're hiring from the 90, you have not done anything. You're only paying him to deepen your woes.
Honorable, you are in the upper echelons of power. If you are almost giving up, what should I do? I mean, I would, in terms of the structure of authority, you are high up there. You have a bigger say in the running of this country than I do, and you seem like you have given up.
But I'm also as vulnerable, much more vulnerable to be blackmailed than you are.
Blackmailed?
Yes. Many of my colleagues who operated or who were MPs in the Galamsey areas
Yes.
lost their seats because they stood up against Galamsey.
Okay.
That is the blackmail. Now, if you're a city mayor in Accra, Kumasi, Takrady, and you insist that traders should get off the road, you or your party will lose the election. That is the blackmail. That is the other side of
because politicians,
democracy.
the opposition will say we are all Ghanaians and you have to leave them there. And it's the same when the other parties in power and your parties in opposition. And they do that when they know the right thing is that everybody must get off the road.
The 90% includes politicians.
Okay.
Includes teachers, includes policemen, includes priests, includes every facet of the society.
Yeah.
Has some of the 90%, but more of the 90% who will not obey any rule.
So it was not always the case. What has happened? What happened? How did we get here?
Good. It has been going up gradually, and it's gotten worse. If we don't take steps to stem it, to get even more worse.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up in a system, those of us who were born in the 60s, grew up in a system where discipline was enforced in schools, rules were pushed, then society itself have elders and stuff who corrected young people. And we started copying others. Oh, those who have traveled abroad, yeah, we don't beat children. So our schools, we introduced that. Oh, communities, now, you look around you. And then the revolution came in. Everything national, we destroyed it. The things that were part of the school system, the things we learned, the things you must not do in public, we learned it at that basic level. I recall that some of the things we used to read, courtesy for boys and girls,
Right.
how you must behave in public. These are all building values for the future. Today, what values are we teaching children? I don't know. The other time I asked when I was in school, what values do we teach our children? What values can we say today that these are national values which everyone who goes through a training system must imbibe? I doubt if there's any. So, what my mother teaches me is what has become my value. What your mother teaches you, and we have some very irresponsible parents. And children from irresponsible homes mix up with other children. If they're not lucky, they get influenced, they get to do everything or anything they want. So in the end, we are here. The biggest challenge we have is our integrity. Now I'm sounding like a broken record, because every opportunity I get, I talk about our integrity. Sometimes I find it so strange when people discuss, oh, politicians are this or that. Are we sure we're talking about this country? This country, just go to any retail shop and ask the owner. If he's not at the shop, what will happen?
Yeah.
Even a street vendor.
Yeah.
If he leaves his table for another person 1 hour, what will happen?
Yeah. The trust is gone.
That level of dishonesty in the school system, basic, middle, tertiary, management of the schools, leadership of students, at every level, in the churches, in the public service. Sometimes I'm surprised that the focus is on politicians. The politician does not spend public money. No politician spends public money. No elected official spends public money. Your duty is approve.
Okay.
You know? So, let's say a budget that is brought to Parliament. No MP is involved in the disbursement of the money here. The Speaker will approve that this be done. But the procurement, the purchase, everything is done by the administration, headed by the clerk. The same thing with local government service. The DCEMC is not a spending officer, he's the approving officer. All to do with procurement, certification is done by the local service staff. Yeah. The same thing with the civil service. So, I'm surprised that the focus is on politicians.
Because, I mean, the thinking and rationale is that we give you a mandate and we expect that you would shape us and govern us.
No, you give us a mandate, and through the mandate we've set up a system. But you're looking at not the people who are working with the system.
Ultimate responsibility.
I agree with you.
Yes.
But sitting here, just last week I got money for my assembly. It's put in the assembly's account. How they use it, I will agree that this money should be used for supporting this community with this project or that. But how they spend to do the project, how, if it's a contract, it is certified for the contractor to be paid. I have no role in it.
Okay.
If the city engineer certifies it, upon what basis can I challenge it?
Okay.
So you cannot expect good results only looking at the top.
Okay.
And that's why I think the challenge is not, you can change political leadership 10,000 times a day. Nothing will change unless we focus on whom are we employing to do what.
Okay.
What is the integrity of the person? And that will also not happen by accident.
Okay.
We have to make a conscious effort as a people to change the training we give children. Okay. It is not sufficient to teach him to read and write, and how to calculate and things. If he is dishonest with that knowledge, he will cheat the system. He will steal from the system, right? Unfortunately for us, whatever the person down there does, we will hold the politician accountable. So they are happy to do anything they want. If government changes, the same person who has stolen here will come quickly to the new minister and raise issues about the former minister. You rush to court to see that there's no evidence to support all the things that we said. Okay. We are not looking at those who have control of the resources. But it's not sufficient to just look at them.
Okay.
We have to take steps to turn the things around.
Okay.
And I believe that we have to craft values and train people in their head. Do you remember the things we learned? 30 days out, September, April, June, November. Right. Yeah. How do you determine whether November is 30 days or so?
I still recite that.
Exactly. That is called socialization orientation.
Okay.
That is what will get ingrained in your mind. It becomes part of your thinking process.
Okay. Okay.
So in some communities, I've recently cited it, that the things every nursing student learns, if it's not yours, don't take it. If it's not true, don't say it. If you don't know, keep quiet. These are the things that will stick in their head, and it will inform their thinking over the year. Okay. In my view, these simple things are what we should focus on in our training. When people grow up, they will do the rest. They will learn the others. With this basic integrity, controlling their thinking, they will go far.
All right. This is the Lowdown here on GhanaWeb TV. We're having a personality interview with Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu. We call him Joe Wise affectionately, MP for Bekwai. See, I touch a raw nerve by asking him a question that makes him open up about where this country is headed, where the values of this country is headed as a people, and the expectations we have of politicians When we return, we'll try and touch base with, his job as First Deputy Speaker of Parliament and why he says this is the worst parliament that he has seen in his life, and maybe be a bit more personal about his upbringing in the Ashanti region of Bekwai and his secondary school days and all the things that you need to know about him outside of the political sphere. We're back after this break. Stay with us.